Hello and welcome to Sweet Spot DFS. This is a 2019 preview of the John Deere Classic. This week we're going to do, well, at least for this video, this preview video, we're going to do things a little different. I'm going to go over the course information. Then we're going to break it down, not really break it down. We're going to go into the players that I like in their respective pools or their buckets. I'm not going to explain what the buckets are. I'm going to reserve that for Wednesday's video. I'm going to create a video Wednesday that's going to be kind of a preview video for members in the future. We'll go into more of player profiles as well as roster construction or lineup construction. And then maybe I'll add a few other little pieces of information. That, or I guess I'll leave it up to you guys. You guys can sound off in the comment section. Would you rather have, where I construct lineups and, pick players that I really like this week, or would you like kind of a live video, basically doing the same thing but also answering questions? I'll just leave it up to you guys. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do Wednesday. Let's just get into the course profile or the course information. The course that the tournament's being played at this week is TPC Deer Run. It's in Silvis, Illinois. And really, when I looked at the golf course, it looked like it really benefited golfers who draw the golf ball. There were some pivotal greens. At least I should say all of the tight greens look like you need a right to left ball flight. So obviously you can be a left-hander and hit fades. So Brian Harmon would be a good choice this week. But yeah, it looks like it favors draw golfers. Now, don't get me wrong. You have to hit the ball well. If you're off with your draw, it doesn't matter because there is water on the left of some of these holes as well. There is sand traps. There are other sources of trouble. So although I say draw golfers get a little bit of an advantage, they have to be hitting the ball well in order to do well. So it's just a piece to look at. I want you guys to think about it, but obviously don't put all your weight on it, because if you find a golfer who draws a golf ball who hasn't been playing well recently, then don't choose them. I looked at last year's leaderboard and I saw maybe 2 golfers that drew the golf ball. So use your judgment. It is worth noting. And I do really think that golfers who draw the golf ball get a big advantage. Now, I also want to point out, when you think of the John Deere Classic, what name pops out to you that does well at this tournament every single year? He's not in the field this week, but he typically is. It's Steve Stricker. Steve Stricker draws the golf ball. Another past champion is Zach Johnson. He has the best course history in the field this week. He draws the golf ball. So does Jordan Spieth, and that was his first tour win, was here at the John Deere Classic. Bryson DeChambeau, also another guy, I think this was his first victory was at the John Deere Classic. He draws the golf ball. So I'm going to put a lot of consideration in finding golfers who draw the golf ball. I personally don't have that information on my spreadsheets for you guys. I just have kind of personal knowledge as to who does that, who draws a golf ball. But again, I don't think you should put all your weight into it. Like I said, of the top 10 last year, I believe only two guys drew the golf ball. The rest of them either hit it straight or faded the golf ball. So just something to keep in mind. Let's get into the spreadsheet. I am not going to continue on with this, so let's get into our players. I should zoom in. I apologize, guys. Hey. Oh my god. Okay. Let's sort it by the columns. Or I should say by the buckets. Now, Yeah, I was just about to get into the buckets and the breakdown of them. We're not going to. All right, so we got last year bucket 1 up right now, and we have it from salary highest to lowest. Let's talk about some of these guys. Victor Hovland, a phenomenal rookie. Ball flight, fades the ball a little bit. I mean, that is his preferred choice, at least from what I see. Colin Morikawa, same thing. Another great golfer. One thing I should actually note, let's look at all of the golfers. Look at the top of the salary. You have Victor Hovland, Colin Morikawa, Matthew Wolff. All rookies. Rookies are leading the top of the salary. That's insane. Then Joaquin Niemann, rookie last year. Followed up by a couple old guys, Kevin Streelman and Lucas Glover. If you couldn't tell, Lucas Glover is the thumbnail. He is one of my favorite picks for this week. Then we have Sung Jae Im, and then Zach Johnson, Charles Howell III. Charles Howell III draws the golf ball. Zach Johnson draws the golf ball. Lucas Glover draws the golf ball. And really, I don't see anyone else down there that really draws the golf ball. Ryan Palmer draws the golf ball. No, he hits a fade. Sorry. He used to hit a draw, but he definitely relies more on his fade. All right. So with that being said, I just wanted to point out, look at the salaries. They're ridiculous. Going into the ones, we already brought up Hovland. We brought up Morikawa. Matthew Wolff fades the golf ball. I think he can work it basically both ways, but I've seen him just basically go to a fade. Now, again, if these fade golfers don't find themselves into trouble and just take, get pars on the holes where they can't really get close to the pin because, it requires a draw into the hole, that's fine. They can score other ways. Lucas Glover, I like him. Sung Jae Im, a solid play, definitely. Kind of thinking to myself if I should just point out players that I like. I do like Brian Harmon. I really don't care for Martin Laird. I really don't care for any of these 5-6-5 golfers. We haven't seen anyone in the top 10 with those stats. So really, holding on with those guys. I like Bo Hosler this week. Definitely worth a look, especially on bent grass. He putts really well on bent grass, and as long as he's keeping it straight, he should be playing pretty well. Sepp Straka is a pretty good play. There are so there's been a 1-1, a last year bucket 1, last week bucket 1 golfer, at least once inside the top 10 over the last 5 years, or last 6 years, sorry. And also, 5 out of those 6 years, there have been 2 1-1s in the lineup. So I think he's definitely worth it. Doc Redman is another great up-and-coming star. He just got second place 2 weeks ago, so I think he's definitely worth a look. Roger Sloan I like. Hank Lebioda definitely like. He's a talented lefty, and a lefty with a fade at this golf course, definitely in play. Russell Henley's kind of an interesting player. I think he's worth a bullet. Let's just put it that way. Definitely risky, but definitely worth a bullet. KH Lee has been falling off the bandwagon. I don't know if burnout's hitting him hard, but play him. Play him in a few lineups. I wouldn't go crazy with him. Adam Long, I like his golf swing. I've said that week in, week out, but I don't think this is the week to play him. Luke Donald, pretty darn good golfer. Well, he's coming back. Let's just put it that way. He was a good golfer, got injured. Now he's coming back. I like him. Curtis Luck had I think before Saturday's round, he was definitely charging up the leaderboard. I think he made a triple or a quad on one of the par 5s. Oh, he doubled the par 5 on Saturday's round. No. Yeah. I think he got a double. It's either double or triple. So not good. I like Svensson. As you can see, the stats that are going on up above, Svensson is in one of those categories. I don't quite remember which one it is, but I do remember putting him there. I do like Alex Prue. I like Josh Teeter. Tom Hoagie, I think, will be a good play. I know a lot of people were on him last week. Stuart Sink, I think, is worth a look because he is, I don't know. He's priceless though because he had an injury recently, a back injury, and a lot of people didn't think he would finish. I want to say the Rocket Mortgage Classic, but he ended up playing pretty well his first 2 days and kind of ran out of steam. But I think he's worth the play. I don't really see anyone else down here, but the ones for this week, definitely a really large pool for ones. I think, yeah, we're going to leave it at that. The next pool should go by pretty quick. Next buckets, not very big. Definitely like Kevin Streelman. Think he's worth a play to go along with Zach Johnson. Joel Damon, I think, is worth a play. He has some pretty good bent grass stats, so definitely worth the look. Scott Brown, I kind of like him this week. Very good stats last week, and last year a pretty good finish. I mean, I like these two golfers, Bronson Burgoon and Sam Ryder. Definitely worth a play. Maybe Matt Jones. I really like the ones in the last week bucket, so definitely worth a look there. Chad Campbell draws the golf ball. He is kind of an old timer. I mean, I don't say that with any disrespect, but he has been on the tour for quite a while. I think he might be worth a long shot bullet. Either bet him, top 10, or put him on 2% of your lineups, 1% of your lineups. Johnson Wagner is actually a pretty interesting golf choice there. I might look more into him, and by Wednesday I might have it figured out. That's bucket 2. We'll go to bucket 3. This one's kind of large. Kyle Stanley, I'm not sure what's going on with him. I think he's had an injury that's been lingering. I might stay away from him. Like I said earlier, I'm staying away from 5 and 6s, so that knocks out Taylor Gooch. Obviously play him at your own risk, but I wouldn't play him. Like I said, there hasn't been a 6 inside the top 10. Not to say there can't be, but I don't think he's going to be in the optimal lineup. Danny Lee is actually a choice that I like quite a bit. Just have a hunch with him. There's nothing really that's, standing out that looks the greatest. Matt Every, oh shoot, he's a 6. Never mind. Trey Mullinax, I like him. Robert Streb, I think, is actually going to be a good play this week. He has 11% mark of finding the top 10 on bent grass golf courses, or tournaments. I think that's a pretty reasonable number. Adam Shank's not a bad play. Brennan Todd, maybe. He has decent bent grass stats. Man, really scraping the bottom here. Can't say I'm too. Brennan Harkins is kind of. He's a golfer that can make a lot of birdies, but he can also find a lot of triples and doubles. So play him at your own risk for sure. Yeah, I think this is good to see these 6s here, because I would have been on golfers like Matt Every, Scott Stallings, and Taylor Gooch, but I'm not going to get there. I might I mean, fives aren't off limits. I've seen them in the top 10, but I think I'm probably gonna steer clear. I'll play some Malnati and Tringali, because Tringali is one of the leading top 5 on bent grass in 2019. So, and he was pretty hot leading up to last week's tournament. Just didn't really finish that well. So that's bucket 3 for you guys. Let's go to bucket 4. Bucket 4 is led by Joaquin Niemann, who I absolutely love this week. I think he's going to do pretty well at this tournament. Only played it once, and that was last year. It's good to have some course history at this golf course, although in the top 5 typically of every year you'll find 2 golfers who've never played this golf course. So it's not necessary to have course history, but having it's not going to be bad. I think Joaquin Niemann's a good play. Same with Vaughn Taylor. I think Vaughn Taylor is a really good play. Doesn't really have the greatest of bent grass stats, but he is a very savvy golfer, and you know what? Now that I think of it, I don't think he's going to be in the optimal lineup, but I think he's a safe golfer to make the cut. And at $7,700, you could do worse. Denny McCarthy also kind of fits that role, although he's more of a younger golfer and putts the ball really well. So Denny McCarthy, actually a good play. I do like him. I would play Nick Taylor. I probably will play Nick Taylor, to be honest. I don't like that he's a 5 in a last week bucket 5, but I think he's a decent play. I'm probably gonna look at a lot of the 4-1s because there has been a champion that has been a 4-1, and you do see 4-1s inside the top 5 kind of consistently. So Stroud is a player that I think I'm gonna be looking at. He has an 8% mark of finding the top 10 at bent grass golf courses. Austin Cook has an 11% chance, although his 2019 bent grass stats are pretty awful. Fabian Gomez, I think, is a sneaky play. Definitely one of the top 2019 bent grass players, but I think that's only with one tournament. So I don't think, he's going to be really worth the play. It's hard to get anything on like Cody Gribble, JJ Henry, or Hunter Mahan. I'd played some Hunter Mahan previously. I think at the Rocket Mortgage Classic. I didn't care too much for him. Maybe, I don't know. I'll sprinkle in some of these 4-1s. That's basically all I'm getting at. But definitely like Joaquin Niemann, as well as Denny McCarthy and Vaughn Taylor. So keep those golfers in mind. Now the 5s and 6s, probably not going to play much of. The 5s, for instance, they really don't have the greatest numbers for finding the top 10. I mean, I think there's 5 over the last 6 years. And inside the top 5, there's only been a total of 3. 2. Yes, 2. So anyways, 5s. If you're going to do a 5, do a 5-1. Primarily just do a 5-1. I want to say do a 5-2 or a 5-4. Now 4 and 3 can be interchangeable. They're really close. I would give the nod to 4s, to be honest. I should have changed that to be 3s, but the number is higher with 3s. You just find more 4s inside the top 5. Yeah, I'm sticking with 5-1. So Moore, Watney, Landry, not bad. Troy Merritt actually isn't a bad play, although I've never seen a 5-4 combination inside the top 10. And on to our last bucket, which will be, so last year Michael Kim was in the 6 for the last year bucket. I should say he was a last year bucket 6, but he was a last week bucket 1. And if you're going to do a 6, pair him up with a 1. And I just don't like anyone. Ryan Palmer has decent bent grass stats, as well as Bill Haas. But I wouldn't choose any of those. Not with confidence, at least. So do as you will. I know I say that all the time, but honestly, sixes are a very risky player pool to select from. I don't think it's going to be worth it for you guys. And just to, get a better look at all that. The last year bucket has nothing but ones and twos, basically. We do have some sprinkles of fives. Ryan Palmer down there at a 6. I think the winner actually, we haven't really seen a winner near the 10,000 mark, but I do think the winner is probably going to be somewhere in here. So with that, guys, that's going to be the video for this week. Like I said, it's a little different, but I wanted to make this one a little bit shorter, and we will go more in depth on Wednesday's video. Again, in the comment section, let me know, do you want a live video with the ability to ask questions, or do you want me to go over lineup construction? I was thinking of maybe providing 6 lineups for you guys to look at. Maybe you guys could copy. I don't really care. My exposures are going to be that high, and obviously you can coattail me, that's fine. I will probably break down the players that I like the most in each bucket, and yeah, no, we'll go over lineup construction. I don't know if I'll give you lineups to use, but I'll go over my construction piece as to how I like to start my lineups off, or start them out and then finish. But yeah, either way, I'd like to hear what you guys have to say, and by Wednesday, it'll be Wednesday evening, probably around like 6 p.m., 7 p.m. that I'll either have the video out or start a live feed. So let me know what you want in the comment section. I definitely will accommodate as much as possible. Yeah, hopefully you enjoyed the setup, and Wednesday you'll enjoy it even more. Thank you for watching. Please leave a like, comment, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. See you on Wednesday.